So there we go, we have a users table. Let's go to the next table here. Let's just add a second one, and this one is the products table, of course. So products, excuse me there. So over here, products table, and of course we always need an ID. In case you didn't add enough of these, you can just add extra here and click go. And yes, so we need a product description, and we're going to use a barcode as well, just in case you have a barcode scanner. Description, barcode. We'll use barcode to identify items. And then we have quantity, amount. I kind of like these ones to be together, so I will put description here, barcode there, and then quantity, and then the amount we're selling this item for. And of course we're going to need an image and user ID. So let's say image. We're going to need a user ID because we want to know who added this item. Yes, so if you don't need to know that, you can remove that. And what else? We have a date when this was added, and of course we want to add views. Now the reason we're adding views is because we want to know which item is viewed the most of all items. Now view may be a little bit misleading here, but when we click on an item here to add it to this, that counts as a view. So what this will do is it's going to help us to make sure that we can order our items by the view count. So if I use an item a lot, it should come to the top. That way it's easy to select it rather than having to search for it. So for example, if we have this wave drink, that right now is at the end. Now imagine we had 100 of these items. They all will not show on this page, of course. I would need to search here for this wave. Now, if this is a very hot commodity and people are using it buying it quite a lot, it's going to be hectic every time to search for it. But if we use views, then slowly it will rise up the ranks until it will get to the top. That way I can simply just click on it and it will be here. So this is why we need the view count in this case. So back here we have image ID. Everything seems in order. Let's add auto increment on the ID, and primary key must be selected. The barcode should be a variable character because some barcodes are not all numeric, and some of them start with 0. Now you can't put, if you put a number inside an int column that starts with a 0, it will remove that 0 because it's useless. So you can't have 0, 1 in int, it will just be 1. So since certain barcodes start with zeros, it's better to use variable character instead. Let's limit it at maybe 15. You can look at your barcodes and see which one is the highest number, the highest character length on your barcodes, and then you can put that value there. But let's leave it at 15. A description, maybe some items may have long descriptions. Let's put 50. Quantity is an int, so we'll leave it be. Amount is not an int, it's a decimal, so we'll leave it be. It knows what to put here, but usually it's 10,2. That's 2 decimal places. 10 numbers with 2 decimal places there, but let's leave it be. It can do that on its own. Image, as usual, is variable character with 500 characters, and variable character here for user ID to 60. If you want numerical user IDs, then no problem, you can use int. And here we have date time, and views will remain at int. What else? I think that does it. So let's save this as products. Very good. And then as usual, we'll add indexes. So we'll be searching via barcode, of course, and we'll be searching via description because somebody can type a description. We'll not be searching via quantity unless you want to know which items have the lowest quantity so far, then we might want to do that. And let's see here, amount, I don't know if you want to search with that, but user ID, of course, we may want to know what items were added by who, and when they were added. So let's add one on the date as well. Views is important because we'll be ordering by the view count, so let's add an index there as well. Okay, very good. And finally, let's add a last table. Now keep in mind that we can always edit these tables. They're not fixed in time, so you can edit them if you make a mistake. So let's add the sales table as well and call it a day. So sales, of course I need an ID. Let's add a few more columns here. So with sales, we need to know what item, what barcode is on that item. We need to know a receipt number. Let's see here, receipt number. That way we can know which items were bought at the same time and from the same customer, of course. So description here, boom. Quantity, boom. And then what else? Amount. And we need to know the total here. So amount and total. So the reason we have amount and total is because if we have a 2 quantity at 2 kwacha, this should be 4. So different information there. Then we have date and we have a user ID because we have to know who sold that thing. So date and user ID underscore ID, like that. Okay, very good. Now the problem we have here is that some information will be repeated because, for example, let's see, receipt number, right? All items that are saved at the same time, because when a user comes here to add item, they add a list of items. So all of them will have the receipt number because that's one receipt. So the number will be repeated over and over. Now you can stop this by adding 2 types of tables, user details and sales details and sales. That way you can add these repeated values in sales details, and then you add one which is the actual receipt in sales. But we will not be going that route just because it's more cumbersome. We can do it simply with this. We just need to code a little bit more PHP to sort the data out. So on the amount, I put decimal, same as total, decimal. Quantity remains int, variable character for description at 50. Receipt number will be variable character as well, but you can, if you want, you can leave it at int, as int. Let's leave it there for now. Barcode is a variable character of 15. There will be a lot of items here, so maybe you can use big int, but int is quite good as well because I don't think a shop will have millions of items at all. So let's put auto increment in primary there. Int can store 10 characters, which is quite a huge number, billions and billions. So date time, user ID. I've missed an I here. So that's variable character at 60. Okay, very good, very good. Let's look. Yeah, that's good. Let me save that. Pretty great. So let's add some indices as well. Barcode, of course. Receipt number, of course. We want to retrieve transactions by receipt number. We may want, let's see here. User ID, I think, is the only, and date, of course. You may want to know what items were sold on which date. So total, amount. This decimal is (0), which is not nice because then it won't store decimals here. I don't know why it puts (0), but let's change that. So you can select these two, click change, and here let's put 2 decimal places. Yeah, save. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Let's add an index on description as well. Let's go back to products, and I think I have a feeling the structure here has 10-0 as well. So let me edit just this one, amount, and put A2 at the end. We need 2 decimal places there, and save. Very nice. So very cool. We have our table here, our database, sorry, with 3 tables. Let's continue in the next video.